Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 53. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I am your host, Todd Oxtra, joined by producer extraordinaire, Mark Carabin, the Canardian. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm very excited to distract ourselves a little from all that's going on in the world and talk about video games and hopefully in turn distract some other people who might just want to escape for an hour or so and listen to video game talk and just kind of it's the world's just like everyone was like, hey, 2021 is going to be better, and then 6 days in it was like, hold my beer, 2020 we're going to get weird right away. So without getting too political, I suppose, how are you feeling, Todd, as the resident American? We're just watching from Canada, eating our ketchup chips, enjoying our poutines, and kind of worried about our friendly neighbors to the south. So how you doing?
It's been a tough week, I will not lie. 2020 sucked. Lots of bad things have happened. And so I was really starting to get very positive. I'm like, this is going to be better. I looked back at the year. I'm like, some good things did happen. And I was trying to stay positive and keep rolling. And then, like everybody in the world, saw what happened at Capitol Hill. And it just really took the wind out of my sails. It was like a gut punch. It just felt like this is what we've come to. And it's just very much very, very frustrating. I am hopeful we can get past the next 11 days or so. And have a fresh start to things and get things back on track. I don't know how it's going in Canada right now, but I just looked in my state of Minnesota. Only 5% of the population has received a dose of the vaccine yet. We've got a long way to go.
Yeah,
so I just want to change.
Yeah, here in Nova Scotia, and in the rest of Canada, I think it's a little slow. In Nova Scotia, where I am, it's so far, I believe, just frontline workers. So my wife usually works in the hospital, but she's on maternity leave right now. But her whole crew just got the first dose of vaccine today. So if she was working, she would have had a dose. Sure. But because she's off, she actually emailed her boss this afternoon because she heard everyone was getting it. And she said, okay, I'm going back in May, but public rollout could be, who knows, next fall or something. Like, what's the situation here? So she's kind of still waiting to hear back on what's going to happen. So right now, it's kind of up in the air. Like, does she go back in May without a vaccine, or like what's going to happen? So it is 2021, just let's just hope it turns itself around, or we can all help turn it around. So
absolutely, we need to be better. The world needs to be better. We need some positivity because we're only gonna get through this together. So folks, stick with us. This is Co-op Mode. We are in this together, as we said. I'm not the best gamer in the world, so when I say with you, I mean you're carrying me along the way on the squad. But that's okay. I'm a great cheerleader. I will be on your back saying, "Go, Mark, go. Go, Mark, go."
Well, one thing we're both cheerleading for right now, and I want to start this before we start any of the stuff we're going to get into today, is Bobby, the Nintendo guru. We've talked about this for a couple of months now. Bobby's not been doing good. He's been in the hospital with COVID since early November. I think he might have been admitted on my birthday, like November 4th. He's been in there for a while. Like it might have, or late October, like Halloween. Anyway, somewhere around there. But he has been doing not great for a very long time. And there's a big group of us that want to help make things at least a tiny bit better for him as much as we can. So we're involved. There's other people. I don't want to miss anyone, so I'm going to maybe not try to list everyone. But I know Sean Capri, the Nintendo dads. There's other streamers, PSVG, Mega Dads, Quest for Pixels guys, Joe After Work. I've got a little list up here now, so I'm kind of cheating here. Lizabelle, Holly Crossing, Kato Potato, or Console Kato, the Mr. Badbit, Joseph, who's recovering himself. So it's absolutely amazing that Joe's like running with the rest of us on this, because he is literally still in recovery mode from COVID, still dealing with stuff himself, but he's still saying, you know what? Yeah, I'm stepping up for this. So it's amazing. So just like I said, there's a big group, and basically there's going to be a big streaming push next weekend, the 15th, Friday. That's the 15th, right? I don't want to get the dates wrong.
It is. Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 17th. They're going to be streaming all day. There's going to be stuff released. By the time you're listening to this, the schedule should be up. Everything should be ready to go on Twitter. So literally follow any of us on Twitter, and we're all retweeting it. We're all making sure the word gets out. But basically, we're all going towards the GoFundMe that Bobby's niece has set up. We've raised a lot of money so far, which is awesome. I've been so happy to see it come in.
And I want to say one thing right now.
Yeah.
Mark, you've been a hero in this, man. When I heard what you did and the efforts you did, $1,000, you were able to get that right away to add to the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Codes out of the yin yang, you've got those coming too, because you've got some great connections, and you were able to leverage that. So I appreciate that, and I'm glad that you're able to get the support you did.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, Bobby and I have been friends for a long time. I had to do anything that I could. And since neither of us really stream, when Sean and the crew kind of contacted me at first, I said, anything I can do to help, I will do. So I said, Todd and I don't stream. We'll talk about it on our show. But what else can I do? And I said I have some contacts for a long time, especially Image and Form. Ubisoft Canada has been great to us. Way Forward's always been great to us. So I reached out to a few of these companies. Image and Form really stepped up, and we're going to have some amazing prizes. I don't know exactly when the prize details are coming out, but let's just say Image and Form stepped up in a crazily big way, and we're going to be giving away a ton of games. And I just have to thank everyone that got back to me. Like I said, Ubisoft, Image and Form. I know Jules Watchamettatui is doing some stuff. Team 17, ID at Xbox. There's many more that I don't want to miss people. But I think basically they're also going to be giving away a Switch, an Xbox Series S. It's crazy the amount of stuff, and $10 gets you an entry. But we have a lot of Image and Form codes, so I think we might be doing something a little different with those, but I don't know the exact details, so I don't want to say it now. But yeah, basically tune in that weekend. Donate if you can. There's also T-shirts. So there's a couple of links to the T-shirts. I think TeePublic and another site, Redbubble, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's two places to get T-shirts. All the proceeds from everything is going towards just helping Bobby with bills and everything that he's going to need when he's recovered. So, yeah. And today we're recording on his birthday, and we announced a whole bunch of more stuff today, like that there will be these big prizes and stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy to just be part of this. It's really cool.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. And if you can help, folks, you donate, you're in the running for prizes. Yep. Even if you're part of the streams and you watch, they're going to be giving away prizes as well. So just definitely don't feel like you got to do a lot to be really involved and help out. Every little bit helps. And, I think there's over 200 plus people have donated. So as you can see, a little bit goes a long ways. And we this is the whole point of this. We game for fun and to meet friends and to support friends when they're down.
Absolutely. So, Bobby, feel better. Can't wait for him to see all of this stuff, the community come and support him in such a big way. So, hopefully that's going to be soon.
You and I actually played a little bit, which is fun.
Yeah.
It's very odd, despite challenges of Game Pass on PC. I don't know.
Yeah, it was so we played Gears of War a little bit online, and like you said, there were some challenges with the voice chat end. It didn't seem it wasn't like dropping connection or anything. It was like weird voice stuff, like you could hear us, but we couldn't hear you, and then you couldn't hear anything. It was weird. So what was going on your end?
I really don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I mean, I looked, and I did notice this in Windows PCs are the best. They never have any problems at all, right? There are like privacy features everywhere. So like, with your microphone and doing things like that, and
right.
So I finally got around it and finally got it to work. And I actually was using my PS5 headset that I'm wearing right now with using the wireless dongle. Worked great when it finally did connect. But yeah, it was a shame because you and my friend Sean were on, and you guys were able to talk a little bit. And I don't know, did you guys even get to play?
Yeah, we did a little bit. I think actually no, I don't think we did. We chatted for a bit, but we didn't get to actually play. We talked for a little bit, and then I had to take off, and then we ended up playing a bit, you and I.
Yeah.
Afterwards, but that was it. So we didn't actually play. We just chatted for a bit. So
we played escape mode.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny in escape mode.
With the random, I forgot.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was a lot of fun. And the funny part was, I didn't realize ammo was so scarce in that game.
Oh yeah.
So
like in that mode specifically, I've never in multiplayer and stuff, like regular multiplayer and the story mode for the game, it's not often that I'm like, oh no, where's ammo? It's not like Resident Evil, but in this mode it was like, I'm just straight up like, someone give me a hammer, or I'm just gonna punch some bad guys in the face. Like it's just like, what is this?
Yeah, escape mode's great, but basically it's 3 players cooperatively, PvE. You're going out of this level to escape this green gas that's going to basically take out the hives as you escape, and you have these. I mean, it's just like Gears, but the cool part is I kind of thought it was neat how you could bring down. I think everybody had a little bit of different abilities. Like you could bring in a sort of like just a batch of weapons or different things like that, which was a lot of fun. And we got to the end, and as soon as this, like the gates are about to close, and this big ass guy comes in, I'm like, oh, we've got him. We'll take him out. And I'm like, I have no more ammo. And like, who's got ammo? And
I was very lucky because we did kill one of the big creature things, and it dropped a hammer and or like this big, I don't know, I guess the best way to describe it would be like a
club or
giant
an axe,
hammer club kind of thing. And because we had gone through a few parts of this level, I was like, okay, ammo's pretty scarce. I'm going to swap out one of my weapons for this big thing and just start clubbing people to death. So it was lucky that I had that at the end, because it was like, oh, everyone's out of ammo. Guess I'm just going to start swinging. So it's an interesting mode, but I do kind of like that scarcity of ammo, because it did add to the panic a bit. It wasn't just gunning through. It was like, make every shot count. Like this is a different mode. This is a different Gears. So I want to play more of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very easy to pick up and get into it, and it's a lot of fun. And I think we were playing at one of the lower difficulties, so it probably would have went far worse if we had been higher difficulty. But the mode I finally got to play with Sean was the Hivebusters. It's basically this new campaign that released for Gears. It's a short campaign. It's a fully new squad. I guess these characters have been part of the multiplayer for a while, but these characters that were in there, and they all have different distinct abilities. Like one person put up a shield. One person can add a cache of weapons. One person has a vibro knife or something, and so then you can play that game with either singly and have 2 AI players, or you can go up to obviously totally or 3 players total on your team. And we played through that, and it's very fun. It's nice. It's a perfect thing just to get in there, just play a level. So we just played a level and then I had to quit out. But I mean, it's a perfect way to get into Gears if you never have. Actually, I think it's the greatest entry point because it's not too deep, and if you like it, guess what? You've completed it, and you can move on to whatever other Gears you want to play. But it's brand new, and everybody's coming in at the same time.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to get around going pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say with COVID, the one thing that most people can't say anymore, they've got really a good excuse, like to go in places, because there's really not much to do. So their schedules opened up. So Mark, you've been playing a game that I have never heard of.
Yeah. I don't even know how I found this, honestly. It was it's an iOS game, and I think I was just kind of browsing through the App Store on my iPad, looking for something to play, and I was looking at the Apple Arcade games, and nothing really caught my eye, although there have been some really cool games released lately that I want to get into. But I've been very distracted by Golf on Mars. So it's a little physics-based golf game that takes place on Mars. Fairly self-explanatory.
Okay. So gravity is a problem?
No, actually, gravity's pretty easy to get a track of. So it's just everything's red instead of grass, I suppose. It's kind of just, it's weird. The landscape is a little kooky at times, but you basically just keep playing golf indefinitely. Because apparently all of Mars has been turned into a golf course. So I'm on
Elon Musk.
Yeah. That's I'm on hole 600 and something. I've taken I don't know, over 1,000 strokes at this point. I'm still below par because all of Mars is a par 3 apparently. It's so stupid and so great, and it's just like, sometimes you'll get a hole in one because the hole will be like just directly across in a straight line, and other times it's like, how the actual hell am I going to get this in the hole? And you take like 20 strokes, but it's just like really stupid. And you can play it for like 30 seconds, literally just do a couple of holes in like a minute or whatever, or you can sit there playing for literal hours and just play 100 holes at a time. So it's like a perfect mobile game. I've been mostly playing on my iPad because I like the big screen and the more flexibility. I find it a little cramped on my phone, but it is just so dumb. It was, I think, $2 or $3, and I don't know. I'm just super hooked. It's ridiculous.
Wow, this thing must take like a GTX 3080 to play. I mean, the
I'm
textures
lucky I
on
have
this
the power
thing,
of the iPad Pro. I'm telling
it's
you.
literally got 4 textures, I think.
Yeah, it's
5 pixels.
It's pretty basic. Yeah.
And the ball moves. I saw a little. It's on Steam as well. I was looking at it. I'm like,
okay.
The ball moves really slow. Or is that not right? Okay.
It can.
Okay.
It's not like you're not really swinging like like a regular golf game. Like you can kind of judge the angle and stuff. If you watch a video of it, you're going to understand everything there is about this game. It is not complicated. It is just one of those simple phone games that is just mindlessly fantastic. It's giving me kind of like Alto's Adventure vibes, where it's not like Alto's Adventure is way more beautiful and way more zen than this game. But it is kind of simplistic, and you're just kind of touching the screen and doing jumps in that game. And in this one, you're just kind of picking your angles and hoping it goes in the hole, and then you move on to the next hole and the next 1,000 holes after that. And you just, like I said, it's just a good kind of mind escape, which, as we've mentioned, we've all needed the last couple of weeks. So this has been a good game for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it doesn't sound like you're playing on the toilet, so missed opportunity there, Mark.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, maybe.
Oh, sure. Okay, well, you don't want to give yourself up. Well, I played a game that was also, high-end entertainment, and that is Cobra Kai. I think the extended journeys. I can't remember. There's like a title to this, but it's based on the TV series from Netflix, and I'm like, I love the TV series. It's so much fun. And I'm like, well, this should be dumb and fun. And I got it off of GameFly. They sell games actually pretty cheap. And I got it for like $12 on Switch. So I'm like, nice. This isn't going to be horrible, is it? This is actually a lot of fun. This is not, it's not an A+ game, but this is essentially Streets of Rage, Final Fight, those type of games. And the fun part is that you can swap out between characters. So I start off as Miguel, who is one of the main characters, but then you can swap out with Johnny. So you can play either character. They all have different moves too.
Interesting.
And then the other part is you can play this as either Cobra Kai or Magneto. So and it actually tells you to get the best ending, play both. You have to finish the game from both dojos to get the best ending. So basically, you play it twice. So, and it's a lot of fun, and they got the voice actors to do the voice talent. The
Well,
power-ups are just crazy over the top. Like, it's fire and ice. So Cobra Kai is fire. Miyagi-Do is like ice powers. And the guys you're taking on are just over the top, like, the big fat guy or this guy, lots of punks and things like that. You fight at a miniature golf course. You go through. You have special moves. There's actually a lot of special moves. You can pick up like baseball bats. You can kick things at people. You have really cool throws. It's just a blast. I mean, I'm just having a fun time with it. So I'm definitely going to play more of this game. There are things that are kind of just silly because you're like, to move around, it just feels like a very dated like traversal type game where like you have to go around and down and side to go this way. Right. So it does feel like a Double Dragon type of game where it's like they but apparently with somebody who's even talking about like they actually use a lot of like characters that are not really part of the actual like game. Like there's a mall cop on a Segway. His name is Blart. There is two guys named Chandler and Joey. Like they like are going deep into like all of these like pop culture things too, which is great.
That's amazing.
I love it. So I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm deep into Cobra Kai season 3, so I love the fact that we're getting a game based off of this. This is a lot of fun.
That's great. That show's so good, and I'm glad to hear the game is awesome because I literally just kind of like put that off as like this is a cheap throwaway game. I'm not going to pay attention to it, so I might actually have to get that.
It's like $20 in the eShop right now. It's gonna be cheaper. It will.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's by the same people that made the G.I. Joe piece of crap. So apparently they put the right dev team on this game. So
all right, yeah, I like it. The only other game I've been really playing, I mean, I've been doing like some Fortnite, some more Tony Hawk, but I've talked about those a lot. I've just restarted Jedi Fallen Order. I after watching The Mandalorian, talking to Charlie every couple of weeks about Star Wars, playing Star Wars Squadrons. I wanted to play kind of more of a more action Star Wars game, and we don't have Lego Star Wars yet. So going back to Fallen Order, man, that game's fun and way more polished now than it was when it was released. Yeah. So it's really nice playing through it. My wife was watching a little bit of it. She was like, this is like actually pretty good. So yeah, I don't know if I'll finish it again or might just kind of slowly pick at it, but it's been really nice to replay that game, especially on the Series X because everything loads so much faster.
Oh yeah,
and quick resume is nice. So it's really cool to go back to. But that's really, I mean, that was my game of the year last year. So if you want to hear me gush about that, go back a year and I'll we'll pause this one, go back, listen to me talk about Fallen Order a whole bunch, and then come back. So that's basically all I've been playing. I've been slacking on new games, but you've been picking some other stuff up. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, and just one last thing on Fallen Order that made me think of the announcement that came out today that Lucasfilm's Games is the new studio alignment, which the only thing I can take away from this right now is I feel like this is like stage 2 where it's going to be more of the Marvel mode where they pick any studio they want to make a Star Wars game versus now the EA focus they have now.
Yeah. I'm fine with that as long as we get Fallen Order 2. Like that's the only thing. I don't want them to be like, Lucasfilm Games is starting fresh because I'll set some stuff on fire if I don't get Fallen Order 2. So I'm hoping you're right with that. I hope they're like, hey, EA, here you go. You guys are handling Fallen Order 2. You guys are handling Squadrons 2, but we're going to give another team or another studio a chance to do whatever, a Mandalorian game or another Jedi game or whatever it is. I just, I hope that's what that means.
Yeah, and the good thing, we know there's a great team to make the Masters of Terraskazi, and that is the Cobra Kai team.
Yeah. I would honestly, like, if they made some like super Star Wars style, like Super Nintendo looking kind of feeling games, like I'd even dig that for a Mandalorian game, like just run and gun, even like a Mandalorian Metroidvania 2D side-scrolling action game that you have to revisit some planets, go to some different planets, but it is all that kind of pixel art 2D kind of Metroidvania, like retreading your path, getting different power-ups for Mando. Like, man, sign me up for that game anytime.
Absolutely. So yes, I did play a new game, Mark. The GameFly gods were nice to me. They positioned into my mailbox Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, or COD Blops Cold War, as we would call it. This is an interesting thing because this game is so weird. There is no smart delivery of this game. There is an Xbox One version. There is a Series X version. If you want the Series X version, you pay $70 or whatever. There's a premium price for it, but there's the same thing with PS4 to PS5. There's actually individual versions of this game, which is so weird. But I got the PS5 version from GameFly. I didn't have to pay anything more for that. The game comes loaded with 3 basically pieces. So it comes with Call of Duty multiplayer, Call of Duty Zombies, and the Cold War campaign. And then the Warzone is separate. That is something you download separately,
right? Because that's free, right?
Exactly, it's free, but it incorporates parts of Cold War into it too, which is really weird.
Okay.
This is such a weird thing, though. So I was playing the campaign. Campaign's a lot of fun. This is like, it takes place in some. This is basically the 80s and 70s Cold War era, and we had that with Black Ops before, but this is definitely feels like it's just really embracing that 70s 80s. We're going into Afghanistan, we're going to go to Vietnam, we're going to do some, the Russians are doing their thing, so we've got this group of CIA agents that go in, so that's kind of what Black Ops has always done. It's always a lot of fun. So you're playing kind of in that type of throwback era. This is full on Call of Duty campaign where it's a roller coaster ride. It's very much like all of the things happen. They're like triggered. There's no really smart AI. They just always happen the same way. So it's really much. It's not like a Halo where you've got really reactive AI. They do different things, but it's really just makes you feel like you're a golden god just reigning hell. And that's perfectly fine for me. The one of the main guys looks like Robert Redford, who has been like clawed and beat up a little bit, but he's got the hair and everything. The cast of crazy characters. You got like a spicy British gal with you from MI6. So it's a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying it. But as I was playing the campaign, it says not installed completely yet after I started playing. I'm like, what do you mean? They make you install 3 parts or download 3 parts to get the whole campaign.
Oh, wow. And it just,
there's only one on the disc. There's only part 1 is on the disc. So then you have to download another 60 gigabytes, Mark.
Yikes.
To get it all. So when all is said and done, I think it says 189 gigabytes minimum install on this. It's insane.
Wow.
That's without Warzone.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that is crazy.
Just be on the lookout, folks. If you've got a small hard drive, Call of Duty is just, I don't know. They didn't like a high ris texture that they couldn't put on a disc. Yeah.
Wow. And speaking of small hard drives.
Yeah, exactly. PS5 is, 825 gigabytes. When all is said and done, I think you get about 680 or whatever. So yeah, it's one of those things right now. Nobody has a wealth of hard drive space right now, unless you bought the expansion card or something like that for, the Xbox. So, So other than that, I played the zombies mode, which I'm horrible at, but it's still a lot of fun because right now it's like the Christmas mode. So you can get like snowballs and you're fighting like these mutant, like they almost like reindeer kind of. Yeah, it's just wacky. But if you like zombies, it's there again. I don't know. It's kind of old by this point. But yeah, I enjoy. I'm definitely going to play through the campaign. It's a lot of fun. It's over the top, but it's nothing that you've never seen before. And I think it's like 5 hours long. So I come for the campaign. Do not stay for the multiplayer. So I'm like the 2%.
I always get Call of Duty games on sale nowadays, if I get them at all, because of that. I've kind of fallen off of. I used to be super into Call of Duty multiplayer, but I've since kind of fallen off. So now I play them as a dumb popcorn movie that I can take part in, and it's a Michael Bay kind of just explosions and guns and just whatever for a couple of hours, and then I'm done with it. So if I can get this on sale, I might.
Yeah, and I will say though, from a next gen feature, they really took advantage of the DualSense Every gun feels different. The way the triggers are and the way
That's
the
cool.
resistance, everything. It's really cool. The haptic feedback really feels awesome too. I'm glad it's not just Sony doing this, and other developers. Fortnite I know is incorporating it too, so that's really good. Yeah. And I did try Warzone just to see, hey, what's all this big deal? And it's Warzone. I mean, really, it's not a game that's going to get me into the battle royale, but it's there if you want it. And it's free. Yeah.
Nice.
But to mark something you did say about storage space, so I have basically been a hypocritical person when it comes to next gen. I said I was going to do X, and I have done Z. So I picked up an Xbox Series S. So I was able to get one actually, because originally I had pre-ordered one at Walmart back in October. Canceled it because I'm like, I don't need that. I'm getting a new PC. I'm good to go. I got Game Pass. And then realized that my son is just going to take up my PC time totally. So now I have essentially no access to PC or Xbox. So I said, well, you know what? I'll get the Xbox Series S because I don't really need the highest of high end. I just want to be able to play Game Pass games. So that's exactly what it is. $300. Play it there. I pre-ordered it from Walmart again, but it was going to come at the end of January. But for some reason, I just checked Best Buy locally, and they had it. So I got it there, canceled my pre-order after asking somebody if they wanted it. They didn't want it. So here we go. Xbox Series S. This thing is tiny, Mark. It is – the width of it is the width of the controller. Like if you put it sideways – that's
wild.
And it's half of the size of like a PlayStation 4 or whatever. It's just a little bread. It's like the size of a loaf of bread, but shorter. Yeah, so it's really cute. It's got all the ports you need. It's light. It's neat. Works really well. When you put all your stuff in, it's easy to set up. All my stuff is there. I have 2 profiles of Xbox, so I have all these games across 2 profiles from back in the day, so it's very fun. I got all these games. And I decided that I was going to go down the road of getting an external SSD USB after Digital Foundry actually did they showed actually that this setup is essentially almost the same speed as the expansion card for transfer speeds and things like that, and actually playing Xbox One games, non-enhanced games.
Right.
So if you're going to play Series X or S enhanced games, those have to be on either the internal or expansion card. But for anything else, you're good to go. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm trying to figure out where all the Series X games will go there, if I'm going to play them, and going back and forth. It transfers so fast, Mark. I mean, literally 50 gigabytes took like 15 seconds.
Wow.
So it's like if you want to do it, and this is $100 all in for this versus $200 for the expansion card. So if you're looking for an option that you don't have and you don't have the $200 for that, this is just another option. And obviously you can keep on adding on if you want. So when the expansion cards get cheaper, that's great. But in the short term, if you do need space, there you go. I think that's a good way to go do it, and it's fun. So I'm really enjoying this. It's great. I am going to start playing Destiny 2 because that's why I've really wanted to play that and some EA Play games. So I'm all set.
Awesome. I'd love to get it back into Destiny. I think there's a few people that are saying that now that it's on Game Pass. And I actually I think after we played Gears, I went in and I was like, man, it's a multiplayer. Like it kind of got me in the mood for this nostalgic multiplayer. And I didn't jump in, but I downloaded Destiny 2 and all the expansions just to have it on my system. So let's get some of that going.
Absolutely. Destiny 1, I put 250 hours in. Destiny 2 less, but I'm excited now because it's all there to play for free.
Yeah,
so
that's it. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, so
funny, after the Gears fiasco, we were joking while we were waiting for you to come in. We were joking. We were like, yeah, he's gonna order a Series S or something like that, just to bypass all this chat headache stuff. And then you did. It wasn't quite related to that, but it was still a very funny coincidence that we were just like, yeah, he's just gonna straight up order an Xbox.
Yeah, it's all gone awry, Mark. 2020 changed me. I'm a changed man. But you know what? I'm glad I can play wherever I want. I don't have to worry about that.
That's pretty great.
And, I'm pretty blessed to be able to do that. So, so we move on to – normally we talk about Newsflash, but we're going to actually talk about – this is kind of forward-looking, most anticipated games of 2021. So I'm hoping we will get games in 2021. It seems like we've already had some games delayed. Outriders is one of the first games that was delayed, but it's delayed for a good reason. They said they want to make it right. And the cool part is they're going to give us a demo first to make sure we're an informed consumer, which I love. Bring on more demos, please. And that game's coming out in April. So that game looks to be a lot of fun. And that's also a co-op online kind of game with campaign. So look forward to that.
Nice.
But beyond that, hopefully we don't get any more delays. And we kind of looked at what was coming. So we each have a list of games we are looking forward to this year. So Mark, why don't we go over the games we both agree upon that we're both looking forward to? And just because I don't have it here doesn't mean it's not an anticipated game.
Okay.
And I think you got one here. You might have one game on here that I think is wishful thinking that might.
I think so. There's a few. So I'll just start going through my list, and then maybe you'll go through yours, and we'll both talk about those. So my first one, Gotham Knights. I love the Arkham series, and this looks like a cool extension of that. Batman's dead, and let's see what everyone else is up to. So yeah, more of that, please. Let's do this.
Mine as well. And the developer just came out. This is Montreal WB, and they said this is a brand new Gotham City, because they said they could not do the type of co-op type of things they wanted to do in the existing like Arkham set pieces because it was too constrained. So they needed to play with that to make it better. So I love the fact that we're going to get this type of gameplay with these type of characters, because you're not saying, because if you want a Batman game, we're probably going to get one again. But for this and these characters that have kind of been in the shadows, I love this.
That's pretty cool. The Gunk is the next one on there. We talked about Image and Form. This is a very weird kind of departure for them, and I think Xbox exclusive, maybe Xbox PC. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I don't know much about that game. I think we got one trailer when it launched.
Yep.
I'm hoping we'll hear more, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to start rolling out gaming details. I hope we don't have to wait till June, because this I just want to hear more frequently from Xbox, hopefully, and we'll get that. So the Gunk looks really cool. Great team.
Building off of that, for more Xbox excitement. This is the big delay, but Halo Infinite, we know finally coming this year. And I'm excited for that. People kind of crapped on it when it was delayed and how it looked when they showed it off and all that kind of stuff. I'm just excited to get into Halo. It seems like people in our community anyway. I know Sean has been doing Halo Saturdays and seems to get really good reception from that. I have to jump in one of these days and play some Halo multiplayer. But I'm looking forward to a new Halo experience, and I think this one's going to deliver in the fall.
Yeah, I'm hopefully will be able to play some Halo co-op campaign with my friend Sean. He missed out. He didn't own an Xbox One, so he missed out, and I don't think he ever played 4. So I would gladly play 4 and 5 with him, because I think while some of the story beats and things like that weren't perfect, the gameplay is excellent. So I'm all into that. And I can't wait for this, especially when it's going to be an open, kind of more of an open Halo, which I still don't know what that means. I'm curious how they're going to do that.
No one does. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but that gameplay should be excellent.
Yeah. Next on my list, Hogwarts Legacy. Halo Legacy. That'd be the next one, maybe. Hogwarts Legacy. I'm looking forward to some Hufflepuff open world action RPG shenanigans, I guess. I hope they deliver on this game. I hope it lives up to how it looks, and I hope it's not too bogged down by J.K. Rowling being a terrible person. So that's all I'll say about that.
I think there's a patch for that.
I hope so. I don't. Man, I hate it when terrible people create great worlds, and it's just like, can we just take this away from you and we own it now? And you can just go off and be terrible. Anyway, let's not get into that. And let's talk about Breath of the Wild 2. I'm guessing this is the one that you're like, maybe wishful thinking.
Mark, but, has a Zelda game ever not been delayed?
Yeah, but
but they actually haven't given us a date, right?
No, I don't.
So it's not delayed if they never give us a date.
No, exactly. I'm just gonna keep saying, last year, I said this game was going to be the thing that they released to combat PS5 and Xbox Series launching. Obviously, that didn't happen. So
we got Age of Calamity, Mark. That's almost the same.
That's exactly what I was. Yeah, sure. Anyway, so that Lego Star Wars, I mentioned that before. Come on, just give that to Charlie and I. We need it.
Will this game finally have online co-op?
Probably not.
Why? Why, Mark? Because I would actually play. Everything. I would play this game with you. I'd play with Charlie. I like the Lego Star Wars games. I don't love them enough to just keep playing them myself. I need somebody to have a beer with, and let's break some bricks.
Yeah, and that so I play all the Lego games with my wife. We love it. So I've never really worried too much about the online stuff. But now that my nephew is playing more online games, it's something that I'm considering. And of course, playing with you guys would be super fun as well. But the last game on my list, Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury, is going to have online multiplayer. There's going to be a new trailer dropping before people even listen to this, 10 a.m. my time tomorrow morning, so 9 a.m.
I didn't
Eastern.
Realize.
Just announced.
They're finally going to tell us what Bowser's Fury is, Mark.
There's going to be a 2-minute trailer. So how much they can fit in that 2 minutes, we will see by the time people are listening to this. But that game's coming out really soon. I think that's early February, mid-February, something like that. So absolutely. I'm looking forward to playing that. And my brother yesterday said that if the online multiplayer works, he's going to pick it up. My nephew will pick it up. So we'll have some 4-player co-op, my wife and I, my nephew, my brother, and just have some Cat Mario fun.
Absolutely. That was one of my favorite Wii U games. Really loved it. And Bowser's Fury. I hope that's something cool. I hope it's just not Bowser's just sitting there and being mad.
We'll see. We will see.
It's like a life simulator with Bowser. It's his daily life. He just sits there and gets angry when a cat poops on his lawn or something. I don't know. Cat Mario.
I'm sure Nintendo could pull it off.
Oh well. For me, the first game is Ghostwire Tokyo. This is actually a Bethesda game. This is funny because it's a Bethesda game that's coming to PlayStation as an exclusive. I don't know how much of an exclusive it truly is. Looks like a crazy first-person martial arts but with special abilities game with some very odd, almost like supernatural elements, like headless Japanese girls and things like that. So it's just a weird mix, which makes me excited about it. I like this developer. I believe he makes I have to look this up. I can't remember who the dev is on this game, Ghostwire Tokyo. I think it's the same one who does Evil Inside, maybe. I think. I looked this up. It is by Tango Gameworks. They also made The Evil Within too. Yes. So there you go. If you're into that, I think that'll be a cool game. Like we said, I don't know if this is eventually going to go to other platforms, but it's very cool that we're getting this game an exclusive on PlayStation 5 this year. Then Far Cry 6. This is with our favorite antagonist in every medium across the way. I mean, Gus Fring. We've got, Moff Gideon. I mean, he is never a good face to see in any type of medium. Always up to
Mirror.
Exactly.
He was the Mirror, yeah. And what was that show called?
Yeah. Then he was also, Breaking Bad, and yeah. All over the place. He's great though, and he's basically so good. He's basically essentially a despot in some type of third world country, trying to raise a son to show him how to be also a despot, and that's all we know about this game so far. But I love Far Cry games. They're open world. They're always fun. Always have a blast with them. I don't know why this game is the one that always it's my favorite Ubisoft series for some reason, but it's great, and I hope it's good. But this seems to be like a May game. I hope this wasn't a delay.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so. They're always, again, super fun. And I always there's always something wild in these games that's just like out of left field. That's honey badgers or something that you just can't it's going to be
a drug fueled a mirage of something happening. Yeah. Can't wait. Then we get Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. This game is supposed to come out in Q3, whatever Q we're in. But basically, this was a launch window game. So we're essentially in January now. So I'm thinking this game has to be a February or March. Although I've heard rumors that they may hold this game back a little bit more because they just want more PlayStation 5s out in the wild, because this is a big game. And I mean, they're constrained by availability. So I just want this game as soon as possible. I love the Ratchet and Clank games. They're one of my favorite franchises for PlayStation.
Yeah, that game looks so good. I think that was we talked about this before as being the first trailer we saw that was like, that is next gen. Like, that cannot happen right now. And I am super, super looking forward to seeing this game actually perform and just watching it all go down and like those rifts in real time. This game looks so good. But I to your point, I think that might be a smart move, especially if you want the like launch units up. Like this could be a game that's attached to PlayStation 5s, just like Mario Kart 8 is right now, or something like to a Switch that, you know, like even for years down the line, Ratchet and Clank sells, hope maybe, but you know, you don't want to miss that hype window when there's only, you know, 4 PS5s and you own 2 of them. So that's, you know, yeah, you don't want that.
No, because at this point, they're going to sell every PlayStation 5 they've got anyway. So you kind of like, does that really matter? And yeah, do you wait until they need something to make people excited? So hopefully, though, it'll come soon. Then Resident Evil Village.
Oh, yeah.
This game is supposed to be coming soon. And like I said, a lot of these games, I'm like, wait, that's right around the bend. That's like, I think, is that an April or March game? Mm-hmm. And I don't know much about it. I think we haven't even gotten gameplay trailers. We haven't seen much except just a cinematic trailer. And this is going to be in the first-person perspective, like RE7, which I loved. And this one looks like it's more of a harkening back to RE4. So I'm gonna play it. I don't know if I'll love it. I hope I do.
Yeah, for sure. And it's again one of those games that's like, okay, at this point we haven't seen anything. Is this going to be just like shadow dropped, or are we going to get some news really, really soon, or a delay? And 2020 sadly has left me being like, yeah, no, that's just going to get delayed. Everything's going to get delayed always, forever. It's just all going to be delayed. So
thankfully 2020 wasn't delayed. Thankfully that arrived on time.
You know, I really expected like, January or
December
January 1st to never. Just midnight, December 32nd. That's welcome to hell. So what's your next game?
Lastly, and there was more I'm interested, but these are the ones that really stood out
for sure.
Like, things we haven't seen before in a while. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The last Vampire the Masquerade we got was like in, I think, like 2008 maybe, I think. And it's just a cool world where it's called the Masquerade is because it's about vampires living among the world, blending in. Some blend better than others. There's different classes of vampires. Some are more like bestial. Some are like the fancy lad vampires you see. Some are like the cool kids hanging at the club, like in Blade. So it's neat, and just how they perform. And I just remember the trailer for this where it had like the people almost like they were like marionettes with their like tendons coming out. They were controlling. I'm like, once again, still don't know much about this gameplay or anything. It feels like, I don't know, Mark. We're like really putting a lot of hopes on somebody delivering, and we haven't had much to see.
Yeah, for sure. This game, I'm looking forward to this too. Anything you can get, like you said, the Blade vampires interacting with what we do in the Shadows vampires is it's just looks
Jackie
like
Daytona better be in this game.
That's you have my interest, sir. Give me the game.
Vampires and dungarees, nothing better. Yes. Oh, yeah. So let us know what your anticipated games are, because at this point, January is kind of like just a gimme that nothing is going to come out except for Golf on Mars. That's the game you're going to get in
that's
January.
It. Pick it up.
That's it. Yeah. So February, and then we'll have some games coming there with Mario. But beyond that, more to come soon. Then, Mark, we get into the bonus round. This is going to be our predictions. First, we're going to look back at episode 25 and what we said was going to happen in 2020. And then we're going to be even better in 2021, where we give your thoughts. We're going to nail it. It's going to happen. Yeah. So Mark, you made some really good notes because we didn't put notes in our last year. So I said, I'm going to listen to it and put these in. And Mark said, I just did it. And I was like, thank you, sir.
Yeah. I had some time. I went back, listened to the episode. First off, at the start of the episode, I said that we were actually planning out which movies we'd be able to see in theaters before Finn arrived. That was just strike one. Listening to this, it was just like, we were so hopeful. Like we were talking like Black Widow and Wonder Woman. It was like, we might be able to squeeze Wonder Woman in. It's like, oh gosh, to have that kind of pure optimism and not see what was coming.
Did you at least get Sonic in? I can't remember. Did you get Sonic in? No, not even Sonic. Wow. Ooh.
No, I saw Sonic, luckily at home, because that movie's delightful. But no, I can't remember the last bloody time I was in a movie theater. You also had a fantastic quote pretty early on saying regarding Halo Infinite, unless something goes completely wrong, this is coming this fall.
Remember how good Halo Infinite was this fall, Mark?
Oh man, it's good. It gets worse.
Okay.
So like I said before, Nintendo really needs a heavy hitter to combat the new systems. I think it'll be all hands on deck to get Breath of the Wild 2 out this fall in order to compete with the new systems. Who knew that in order to compete with the new systems, we just needed a worldwide pandemic in Animal Crossing to sell out every effing Switch in the world? Like, what the hell? Anyway, so that's just a precursor to how badly this episode is aged.
Did we get anything right?
I don't think so.
Oh, wait, we did get one. I mean, I think this one's pretty good though.
I think. Oh yeah, you got one. Yeah, you got one. So let's start off with Switch first. What was your prediction for the Switch?
I said Wonderful 101 Special Edition announced with Beautiful Joe as a special character, and he's also a Smash character. So I should have shut up at like this Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
Did Beautiful Joe ever come back to? Did he come into the Wonderful 101? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but anyway, Beautiful Joe, I wish that one came true because he's just a great character. So we'll give you a partial point because of Wonderful 101 maybe.
Okay.
But the Smash character will take a point away. So there we go. I said
you nailed this one.
Oh yeah, really knocked it out of the park. With Splatoon 3 would be announced and released, and it was a free-to-play multiplayer game with paid DLC story and DLC cosmetics like any other battle royale type of game. So wing and a miss. I still hope that happens, but obviously not this year.
Yeah.
I still think it makes sense, but it didn't happen.
Somebody said that they don't think there will be a Splatoon 3 on this platform, but they think they're going to do a weird Splatoon spin-off.
I'd play that.
Yeah, why not? That'd be fun. So we moved to Xbox, and I said we're going to get a Fable announced, new game with co-op elements. Now, Fable was announced, but I have no clue about the gameplay or co-op, so I really can't. That's a TBD.
You also went off on a crazy tangent here. I don't know if you remember any of that, but your co-op element was all about your co-op friend would play as your companion animal. And you'd have the whole thing would be like you tripping out like the talking to Roach mission in Witcher 3. And that was like your whole pitch on this. And I'm pretty sure like that was like all joking, but you were like, yeah, the basic part was, Fable would be announced with co-op. You still might be right. We did get the Fable announcement. So I'm going to give you the points on that one because that was pretty good. And you just went off on that Roach Witcher thing. And I thought that was hilarious.
Wow, this next one, Mark, this is funny because this is was a crazy tangent type story.
The xCloud open beta, including iOS, would drop at E3, and everyone said it'd just be an open beta instead of like a weird little test run thing with a certain 1,000 amount of people playing on iOS. And we all know how quickly that fell apart for iOS users. So, yeah, no.
I'll give you points because we did get the open beta. It was really weird because you were in the beta, right?
I was, yeah, and it was only Halo Master Chief Collection. It played well on iOS, but then everything was just like, yeah, no, we're not going to do this. Shut it down. So I think I was wrong other than the xCloud open beta came to iOS at some point, but like it didn't drop at E3. It wasn't for everyone. It wasn't like it never came to anything. Like they're going browser based now. So it was like anything that could go wrong with this, aside from like xCloud actually came to iOS for a bit, like everything else just got lit on fire and just doused with gasoline.
Yeah, the year I switched over to Apple, that's what caused it.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Thanks.
You will be redeemed, sir. We get to Sony now, and I said PS Now and PS Plus gets packaged and rebranded as PS All Play. Includes VR games and first party, undercuts Game Pass on pricing. You will see this brought up again.
All right, we'll see how long you hold on to this one. So my Sony prediction was The Last of Us 2 does not get a PS5 specific version, but rather Sony uses this game to showcase cross-gen compatibility with Xbox One X style enhancements. So this Last of Us 2,
right.
they didn't really get a next-gen version. Were there enhancements for PS5? I don't think it was quite what I was exactly thinking, because I was thinking like almost what we got with Smart Delivery. Sure. I think is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
But so I think I was
faster
heading
load
in
times.
a direction.
How about that, Mark? That's about what Sony's doing. Faster load times. There you go. That's your enhancements.
Yeah. So I think my thinking of this was basically what we got with Smart Delivery.
Yeah.
That was my prediction. I just got the company wrong.
You had faith in Sony that was not.
I guess so. Yeah. So that was again a kind of a swing and a miss for the most part on the Sony front. Third party. That's the last one we did.
Yeah, this one's a little weird. I said EA is going to go all in on Star Wars, BioWare remastering KOTOR. That did not happen, but they did release a game I didn't think anybody thought we were going to get, which was Squadron. So in a way, they kind of did go all in with one game.
You know what? I think that I'm giving you some points for that one. I think because who would have guessed after Fallen Order we'd get another Star Wars game? We've heard that
without
Fallen
controversy
is going to be coming up. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right on this one. Aside from BioWare remastering KOTOR, like solid prediction. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, apparently BioWare is just too busy remastering Mass Effect.
Yeah.
They like space.
Mine was way off. GTA 5 on Switch. We did argue back and forth that whether it would include online or not. But it was just wrong straight out. Like it never came there. And we said, it's on Game Pass. How can they make more money on this game? Aside from like the online transactions for the online mode, but like selling the game, who do you sell the game to? It's a 360 PS3 game. It can work on Switch. Why isn't it there? They're still, I still believe in this. I still think they're leaving money on the table. I think this game should be on Switch, and it's weird, especially in 2020, that it didn't happen, because you'd think it wouldn't take as much, resources. You could farm it out to someone, just port this, make some quick money. Everything's shut down. Just, it makes so much sense that I'm kind of thrown off that this actually didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't understand the reason. It really makes no sense. It's like, it's not like they're making another GTA 5 or GTA anytime soon. So getting on other platforms and making more money just seems to make sense. So I'm boggled. I just don't understand. I mean, unless they're like saving their time for what is it? Chinatown Wars? Bring that back.
That was an okay game.
Sure.
I had that on DS.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so weird. Oh well.
I think folks can still buy that game on iOS.
Oh, iOS. That's right.
Yeah.
There's some weird GTA ports that are on iOS, which is just interesting. Oh well.
Mm-hmm.
So folks, we didn't do hot, but you know what? Don't hold it against us, because we are going to nail it this year. 2021, it's going to be the most easy year to predict.
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. There's, why, but just give us the awards right now for these predictions. I think we're going to go. So generic industry, you want to lead us off with that?
Yeah, I just said because I was in the mindset of, where are we going to be? Last year we had like no real E3. We had the Summer of Keighley. It was just all over the place. We had like one-offs, and it was really hard to keep track of. So I think there was even a spreadsheet. Jeff Grubb did like a crazy like list of predictions what was going to happen. So I kind of said I don't think E3 is going to return. I think we saw, especially where we're going to be, I think people saw enough return on viewers and everybody doing their own thing that I think streaming will still work. Doing their own thing will work. But I think the Summer of Keighley does return, but I think it's going to be like people are going to get like companies and publishers are actually going to get behind it. And I think they're going to find value in being not spread out over 3 months, but potentially over 1 week, and everybody gets their day.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on E3? Do you think any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's a tough one to predict because I think the absence of E3 made people realize, you don't miss something until it's gone kind of thing. It's like everyone complained about E3, but then we saw the Summer of Keighley and how spread out it was and how it was kind of a mess. By the end of it, it was really hard to keep track of even with a calendar. So I think, yeah, if E3 doesn't return, which it might not, but I think the spirit of E3 will live on with whatever happens this summer, whether it's Keighley or something else. Something's going to fit that concise, tight time frame, like you said, a week or even 2 weeks. That, yeah, give each person their day or each studio their day or each announcement, but have it happen in a more concise, more condensed kind of way, rather than like, well, here's 3 months worth of like anything ranging from like bombshell to bullshit announcements. And you can never predict which one's which, and you can't take time off to watch it because one of them's going to be 15 minutes and another one's going to be 4 hours. It was just kind of a mess. So I think the spirit of E3, if it doesn't return it proper, I think that people are going to learn from that and really bring that kind of energy this summer.
Yeah, and maybe Devolver will bring out a sequel to their E3 video game, which was awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I hope they've all learned, because the way they did it last year just did not work. Because if you weren't paying attention, you just missed it, and it's like, well, did you miss it? Nope, I didn't. So you moved on. So it was just weird. Exactly. Yeah. So we move into our first area, Mark, with Nintendo. Do you want to start?
Sure. Yep. Nintendo has a few anniversaries this year, 4 big ones to be precise, and I think they're going to acknowledge at best 1, maybe 2 of those, and one I'm giving them only partial credit for because, I'll get to that in a second. So Zelda, I think they'll kind of acknowledge with Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. And I know before I said Breath of the Wild 2, I was excited for, but I don't know if we're actually going to see that. So we'll get those, but they're going to be very much 3D All-Stars kind of thing, like no real improvements over the Wii U versions of those games. I just think they need to be on Switch. And I think for partial points, we will see some Pokemon celebrations for their whatever it is, 30th anniversary or whatever they're celebrating. We'll get some re-releases on Switch, new Pokemon Snap, but because Pokemon Company is separate, I'm not really giving Nintendo the full credit for that one. So I think the only one they'll really acknowledge is Zelda. They're going to let Donkey Kong's 40th anniversary go, and sadly, I think we're going to see Metroid's 35th anniversary go pretty much unmentioned, and that's going to cause Joey Ferris and myself to want to just cry in a corner.
It's funny because both Donkey Kong and Mario share the 40th because they both appeared in the same game.
Yeah,
and at that point, Mario was trying to recover Pauline, and we know how that went.
Yeah.
Never saw Pauline again, except when New Donk City as the mayor.
Right. She moved into politics and left the plumber behind. She's doing better. Yeah. Oh, so what's your Nintendo prediction?
Oh, wow. So, yeah, we went a little bit long on this one. Let's see. So Nintendo abandons an E3 Direct, and I think they're going to move forward to just with focused directs on one game or a franchise, kind of like we saw with the Mario 35th anniversary. We got that big everything that was coming out for that. I think that's where they're going to continue. We may get a tweet, and then it's like, here's the thing, the video on it. So it's kind of interesting because they pioneered that, and it seems like they've just gone away from it. So, yeah, Yeah, it's kind of a sad thing because I kind of miss
Really
those
weird.
days of the fun that they brought. Then Nintendo Online. I think they're going to finally bring another platform in. This year they skipped,
Oh, I hope so.
2020. They didn't bring in anything past SNES. I think it's either going to be Game Boy Color, because I don't think Game Boy itself is enough. I think it's to be Game Boy Color, where you could go.
Yeah. I would actually go as far to say Game Boy would encompass both Game Boy, Game
Sure.
Boy Color, and GBA games.
Oh, nice. That's even better.
Yeah.
I like that. Or Nintendo 64. I don't know where the cutoff is, though, with Nintendo Online. Somebody talked about file sizes, things like that. Yeah, and at that point, have the N64 games aged well? That just regular ports would
Some
Yes.
have.
Yes.
You know, that some aren't too bad.
No.
It'd be a short list, but I think it'd be worthwhile.
Exactly. Then a sports franchise will be brought back, and it will be Mario Golf.
Yes. I'm all in.
Why not? We only got, tennis so far? That's the only sports game we've got back so far?
I think so. Yep.
Yeah, we need more. Zelda gets a 35th anniversary game similar to Mario 35, which I think could be fun. Kind of like just, it's the original Zelda where you have to defeat like a dungeon. They just use the dungeons maybe and do it that way. Or they just use the screens because they don't Zelda. It's the screens versus actually a continuous level. So they could have fun with that, and you get all the more enemies and things like that. So that could be fun. And then we get the 3D Zelda All-Star Collection, similar to the Nintendo Power Disc. Remember that, Mark?
Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. I like your Zelda predictions better than mine, but we'll see who's.
Well, if mine are better, they're not going to be. They're not going to. It's not going to work. They always go to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah. Well, let's see who's right there. You want to move on to Xbox?
Sure. So I say a surprise third-party exclusive is going to be announced, and it's going to be released this fall, and that's Ninja Gaiden Revenge. Ninja Gaiden has been a big part of Xbox. I mean, Ninja Gaiden Black was fantastic, and then we got the other Ninja
and that's
games,
been enhanced. If you haven't played that game, go back.
Ooh, is
Ryan
it even
Turford talks about that enhancement a couple of times on the Xbox Drive. He's mentioned it a few times, and it's Xbox One X enhanced, which means Series X would run it even better. Go check that game out. Yeah.
Nice. Is that on Game Pass, or is that just a downloadable like $10 game? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Then I say the Elite Controller 3 is going to be released this year. It's going to have advanced rumble, advanced triggers, and a share button. And it's going to be $199.
Ooh.
Because the last one was released in 2018, so it's been almost 2 years, and I think there's more they can do with that controller. Charge a little more for it and really make it the premier controller overall. So there we go. Then lastly, an Xbox streaming stick is going to be announced, and it's going to be launched in 2021.
I like that one. That's a smart play because I think where xCloud is going and streaming and I think that's a really smart prediction. I don't know if they'll launch it this year or if they'll finally just have the Series X and S stock under control and then kind of announce it. But I might say the launch might be early, like Switch time, like early 2022 or like March-ish kind of thing. But that's a good one to keep in mind. I like that.
Yeah, and I do want to. CES is happening right now too. I don't know if you're paying any attention to what's going on, but LG announced that all of their TVs going forward will not only have Twitch as one of an app on the TV, but it'll also have Stadia.
Yep.
So that's the move we're going to. So I don't think Xbox wants to be left behind.
No, I think they'll be pushing this out sooner rather than later for sure. It'll be interesting to see how quickly they run it out, and do they want to, or do they think this will cannibalize sales of the Series consoles, or do they think this is separate enough? We're not that worried about it. We basically. I think Apple had a similar approach when they released the iPad. People were saying, this is going to cannibalize laptop sales. You'll get people that aren't buying laptops. And Apple's look on that was basically, you know what? we'd rather cannibalize those sales ourselves than have another company release a tablet and steal our sales from us that way. So I Xbox could kind of come at that same approach. Like, no, these people aren't buying a console. They're going to get Stadia or this or that or whatever. So if they're already not buying an Xbox, we at least want them to buy our streaming stick. So that's a really good one. I like that.
And you have an interesting pick because this is a franchise that's been dead.
It's been dead for a bit. And with some recent purchases, I think Xbox could make this happen. A new Quake game is announced, and it's an exclusive. It's the first full-off Xbox exclusive that we've seen from the ZeniMax purchase. Because I think this one's one that it wouldn't really upset people as much as they say, if they come out and they're like, hey, there's a new Fallout, but it's an Xbox exclusive. There's a new Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, whatever kind of game, or Wolfenstein or something, like that's going to piss some people off really quickly. But I think a new Quake game that's Microsoft exclusive would be like, yeah, okay, we'll accept that. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm going with that.
It makes total sense. Yeah. Nobody has a lot of fond memories with Quake unless it was on PC, to be honest.
Right. And that's why I said Microsoft exclusive, not just Xbox. I think that's going to be, you'll see that still on PC, but the Xbox Series consoles will get that one as well.
Absolutely.
Where are we at with Sony?
Okay. So this is where I go a little deep because I'm a Sony pony. Okay. In 2021, simple. We need a better name for like Sony fanboys than ponies. It just makes no sense. It's just the dumbest name in the world.
Ponies works.
Because we have Xbox and Nintendo. I think that's my favorite. I came up with that one.
Xbox, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I said Sony purchased. This is like This is like the.
Yeah, you went all out on this.
What is it? The multi-tiered dolls, whatever they're called.
Russian nesting dolls.
Yes, they have a name. I can't remember what it is. But yes. So this is multi-tiered. So Sony purchases all Konami IP, which then leads, or maybe some. We'll put some there, Mark. I want to get points. Sony buys Blue Point Studios, which has been making remakes. Did Demon Souls lastly. They did the last, was it Eco? I don't know. They've done a couple there. Then they partner with Kojima on a Metal Gear Solid remake.
Ooh. All right.
So do I get points if I get any parts of that right?
We'll determine that next year, but I think, you'll get some partial points. I think, I think you'll get how many of these you'll get a 1/10 of a point. I don't know how many friggin' predictions you have here.
That's true. Yeah, it's like even if I get a couple right, I'm still not going to make many points.
You get 0.75 of a point for this sentence and 0.35 for that sentence. Yeah, let's we'll add some weight to these.
Sweat equities going on here, my picks. Then I say GT7, so Gran Turismo 7 launches, but it's an entry-priced early access platform. They've done this before with Gran Turismo. I can't remember what it was called, like A-Spec or something like that. But
right.
Basically, so I think they're going to do that again. Just really, it's early access. You hop on board, and they'll continue to add features on it. And I think this is where Forza's going, actually, where they want to be a platform. But I don't think Forza would do this. I think they would say, here's a full game, and then we'll keep adding onto it. But Sony will be like, it's like, oh, it takes us 18 years to do this. Here's 3 tracks and 8 cars.
All right. The long play by Sony here.
Yes. Then a new Uncharted game is announced and being made by a spin-off studio launching in 2022, similar to the last Lost Legacy, or because we're getting an Uncharted movie. This might be what is it? The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles or those episodes. This is the same thing. These are just more adventures Nate had back in the day.
Okay. A spin-off. Now, do you think this would tie into the movie a little bit more?
It could. It could. Okay. I don't want to see Mark Wahlberg, though. I don't want Mark Wahlberg's face in this game. Kind of like
I was just going to say, is the model going to be based off Tom Holland? Is it how?
That's
where are we going with this?
Yeah, it's kind of like how they changed Spider-Man up in the new game.
That's what I was thinking.
The same thing. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll see. Then I'm going for this, Mark. I'm going to make this happen. This power of PlayStation. PS Plus and PS Now are going to merge. They're going to be $10 a month total, or $99 a year.
So you think they're going to undercut Microsoft with the $10?
I think it makes sense because you can get PS Now for $60 a year, and you can get PS Plus for a year for $60. so it's 120.
Okay.
I think for $100, but if you do 10, you get 120. So I think it just makes sense.
All right. Yep. I like it. I like your reasoning behind it for sure. Okay. Mine is very, very simple because I just went simple with this one. That's the Parappa the Rapper is back. It's going to be a new Parappa game.
Is it going to be just more Parappa, or are they going to do anything different?
Maybe.
Gonna go 8 Mile? Going to be like the 8 Mile version where rags to riches and living in a trailer?
I don't know. I don't know if they'll go super complex with it. I think maybe they just have this as kind of like the party rhythm game, get a little bit of that back. Could be kind of a remastered version first to gauge whether there's kind of the Crash model. So we see a Parappa bundle of like the remaster kind of thing of the original games, followed by maybe Parappa comes back properly with a new game in 2022. But I think they're going to do something with Parappa the Rapper.
Parappa is going to come back?
Yes. Parappa is back. Yes,
itself.
That is the prediction.
It's the first line of his rap.
That's it. Parappa is back. Yep. It writes itself. Yeah.
All right.
JB,
okay.
Start laying some beats down.
That tracks. All right. Yeah. So lastly, third party predictions. So I say, it's funny, we're both going to focus on the same company. Ubisoft making another partnership with Nintendo. And I've got one here, but I'm going to give two. Really, they're either going to make a Super Nintendo RPG by the Rabbids team. So not just Super Mario, but it's going to be like the classic team up. And this potentially could be the Amiibo game. We've always wanted
my.
Where you get a party of 3 and it's whoever. It's like Samus. It could be a Metroid, and it could be, what's his name? The guy from Kirby, the penguin.
King Dedede?
Yeah, they could just be on a team. Yeah.
Right.
And the bad guys could be, amiibos as well. And I don't know. I like this. Or they're just going to make a full-on Star Fox game, but it may be more of a, and get this, they're going to go and they're going to make it like more of a rhythm game, and they're going to tie in like rhythm to the shooting, but then they're going to go and phase it through the different eras of what Star Fox looked like. So it's going to be like the wire version, then it's going to be like the different versions through time. I think it'd be fun.
So I think that game exists, and it's called Invector by Avicii. Really cool game. Rhythm shooting.
They stole my idea, Mark.
Thing. Yeah, go seriously. There's a demo of that game. Okay. Go play it. You will be astonished at how close you are with a really, really good idea. But I think moving that into Star Fox would be really cool. But yeah, Avicii Invector, I think it's called.
Okay.
Really solid, like Rails-ish. Space flying rhythm game. It works. It works way better than you'd think, and I like it. You're not as crazy with this prediction as people might be thinking right now. Mine is a little bit. I'm gonna say a little bit more grounded because you're just swinging for the fences, and I love that. But mine's just wishful thinking that we get Immortals Fenyx Rising 2 at least announced. I don't think they'd release it next fall because I think Ubisoft has learned from Assassin's Creed and other franchises that you don't want to rush things out. You want to give them that every 2-year kind of pacing. So they announced it this year, though, just to build on the success of the first one because people have been loving that game. I keep hearing different people on Twitter and different even messaging on Facebook being like, hey, I heard you guys talking about Fenyx Rising. I tried it out. I love it. Holy crap. Thank you. So yeah, I think it's going to be releasing fall 2022, but we'll hear about it this year.
Yeah. And I think the perfect plan they figured out with the Assassin's Creed games is launch the game and then support it year 2 with DLC.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to some more. Yeah. Just anything new, DLC, whatever it is in the Immortals Fenyx Rising world. That's great.
Yeah, it was our game of the year. So I cannot, and I'm still playing it. I'm getting through the game slowly but surely, and I will want to play more. But I'm perfectly fine giving it some time for me to get excited about it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Well, that is it, folks. We survived 2020. We are going into 2021 strong. We had some folks that gave us their predictions as well. Sorry we weren't able to incorporate them, but thank you anyways. We'll do a better job with that in future episodes. So, Mark, before we leave, tell people how they can follow us.
Well, you can follow us on Twitter at co_opmode_pod or Toxtra or _Canardian. You can. We always appreciate hearing from people, and especially hearing from people on iTunes or where your favorite podcast service. But Apple Podcasts, the reviews really help and will be rewarded. Send us a screenshot of your review, and we'll send you something cool. We also have T-shirts available at TeePublic. You can find the whole Secret Friends Unite podcast network. There's a whole bunch of shirt designs there, and not just shirts. You can get mouse pads, cups, mugs, stickers, just a whole bunch of cool stuff. On TeePublic, search Secret Friends Unite, and of course follow all the Secret Friends podcasts. There's Secret Friends Unite, there's Code 47, there's of course us here at Co-op Mode, and the Holocron Chronicles, which I'm excited is going bi-weekly, which is awesome. Charlie and I have been having a ton of fun with that show, and I'm really excited to talk more Star Wars and fit that into my schedule. So we'll be doing kind of bouncing off for my schedule. I could only kind of fit in one per week really right now. So I'm super happy to be able to do Co-op Mode one week and Holocron the next. So I'm pumped to get that going. We're gearing up for a special episode coming up soon. We just released episode 3. We're going to be doing another recap coming up next week. It's great, man. I'm having fun and love being part of the growing Secret Friends network.
It's been great. We've grown this year. The only thing I can promise is we're going to have awesome guests and have a great time doing this. If you have anyone you would recommend that you'd like to have on the podcast, or if you have a passion to be on a podcast, got the chops to be on, let us know.
Honestly, listen to us talk for an hour and you don't even need the chops. Just a functioning microphone and you can talk to the two of us.
And power outlets that work.
That's it. And power outlets that work. And a dog that doesn't bark at a car alarm going off down the street. It's there's constant shenanigans going on the Co-op Mode couch. So come join us.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, friends, for listening. It's always better to game together.
Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you wanna test me, until you find the things I'll teach ya, be sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick,
Kick, kick, kick.
punch,
Punch.
jump,
Chop, 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 chop.
block.
Block,
Once more now, kick,
kick, kick, kick, kick.
punch,
Punch.
jump,
Chop, 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 chop.
and block.
Block.
Don't get cocky, it's gonna get rocky. We're gonna move down to the next jockey. Now duck,
Duck.
jump,
Jump.
turn,
Turn.
pause, listen carefully, jump,
Jump.
pause, duck,
Duck.
and turn.
Turn.
Yeah, I see you're getting better. Kick to the limit in order to get her now. Kick, punch,
Kick, punch. Kick, punch.
chop, block,
Chop, block.
chop, kick,
Chop, kick.
punch, block.
Punch, block.
Gonna get harder now. Duck and jump,
Jump.
turn and pause, duck and turn, jump and pause. Come on now, why don't you follow my words, because we're almost done. I'll make it easier first. I wanna see if you wanna see what it means to be the man with a master plan. Are you the man now? Here we go now. Kick, punch, block, chop, kick, block, block, and I'm kicking. Black duck punch, duck turn, jump, kick, chop, That's it for today. Good job, Parappa. You can go on to the next stage now.
Yahoo! All right.